Hey guys, welcome back to The Bookworm. So, we're continuing to read A Snicker of Magic. We're in chapter 2 right now. Mama liked to say that us pickles were nomads, adventure sneakers. But as we zoomed towards our first day of school at Stoneberry Elementary, I didn't feel adventurous at all. Traveling all around so much had us all tired out, Mama most of all, even though she didn't realize it. I saw the proof when she glanced at me in the rearview mirror. Her eyes used to be as bright blue as summer sky, but now they looked like jeans faded from too many tumbles through a washing machine. Are you nervous about today, girls? A little, I sighed. A little. Franny Jo mumbled. She clutched her small blue suitcase tighter against her chest and leaned against me. Since we never knew when Mama might wake us in the middle of the night, ready to bolt out of town, Franny liked to keep a suitcase packed full of all her worldly treasures, the special stuff she didn't want to leave behind. Well, I have a good feeling about today. Mama nodded. Anything can happen in a town like this. Does that mean we're going to stay a while? I asked. I heard Franny Joe's breath catch. Maybe people can't grow roots the same as trees do, but we both need a place to dig in and grow some good memories. And so did Mama. She only managed a shadow of a smile as she softly answered, "We'll see." At exactly that moment, I saw my first world of the day believe. The letters were made of melted sunshine. They dripped down the window glass, warm and tingly against our faces. Believe is a powerful word to see and to say, but the morning I felt it, and feeling it was the best of all. I knew something wonderful was about to happen to me. I didn't know what or why or how, but I believed. Franny Jo and I stood on the sidewalk of Stoneberry Elementary School, waving to Mama as we drove off in the pickled jalapeno. We named our van the jalapeno because it was green-brown and dented up and droopy looking, kind of like a rotten pepper. And since it's just us pickles driving around in it, the pickled jalapeno is what it became. The pickled jalapeno made a purr clunkety clunk noise as it disappeared down the foggy road. I squinted my eyes at the cloud of exhaust billowing out the tailpipe and saw 3 smoke-colored words. Spunkter, sumpter, sniffle, miffle. Words that hover around cars or trains or boats or planes never made much sense. At least they don't make sense to me. I'm not sure if that's how it works for other people. I know I can't be the only word collector in the world, but I never met anybody else who has the knack. As Franny slipped her hand into mine, I felt something scratch against me. When I looked down, I realized she had a bunch of neon-colored Band-Aids stuck down the side of her arm. That's why we keep Band-Aids hidden from Franny Jo. She uses them like stickers. Hey, I squeezed her hand. You ready for a new adventure? Franny shrugged a shoulder. I concentrated on the words shimmering around Franny's blonde ponytail. Biscuit, dump truck, apple fritter. Franny Jo was concentrating on her most favorite things, the name of our dog and the vehicle she aspires to drive when she grows up, and also her most favorite food, that her trick to keep tears from spilling out. Sure enough, Franny's chin started trembling. She nuzzled against my arm and blinked up at me with watery blue eyes. Will you carry me? I sighed and hugged her close to my side. You're too old for people to still be carrying you around so much. Want me to catch a poem for you? Franny nodded quickly. She sniffled, but she didn't cry. Franny's a brave little pickle. She leaned in closer to my side as we walked through the doors of the schoolhouse. I kept my arm locked tight around her shoulder. The world's got to be a scary place when you're no bigger than a bean sprout. You'd think we're both invisible the way the big kids kept bumping into us, but I knew we weren't, because I could hear our sneakers singing squeaky songs across the tile floor. My sneakers were covered with the words I didn't have room for in my blue book. The same sneakers had walked over the sand and grass and gravel of 6 different states. Moving around so much had us all tuckered out, and that's a fact, but at least the world is full of words to hold and see and keep. Franny likes hearing words as much as I like finding them. Hooray, Franny squealed. I made a big show of catching invisible words in my hands and putting them in my mouth and chewing on them. I knew my word-catching charade wasn't the best way to make a fast friend at Stoneberry Elementary School, but it was the only way I could think of to make my sister feel better. And I think if you're lucky, a sister is the same as a friend, but better. A sister is like a super, forever, infinity friend. Sticky as gumballs, I said, working my jaws up and down. Franny smiled at me. I cleared my throat and declared, "Purr clunkety clunk, purr clunkety clunk. The pickled jalapeno keeps its heart in its trunk." Two girls in line at the pencil machine swiveled around to stare as we passed. Any shimmer of confidence I store up began to fizzle at exactly that moment. First impressions aren't my specialty, even in the best of times, and yelling crazy poem words in the hallway when you're the new girl in a new school is definitely not the best of times. But I soldiered on, lowering my voice just barely. Tipple tap, tipple tee, tipple top, tipple tap. The old man keeps his heart in the brim of his hat. Rat-a-tat, 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 rat-a-tee. Franny Jo, who wears her heart on the edge of her sleeve. Franny swung my hand back and forth and shook her hips in rhythms to my word. She wore a yellow tutu over her jeans, part of last year's Halloween costume. The glitter on the skirt sparkled and sparkled under the fluorescent lights as we tromped down the hallway. We stopped in front of a first-grade classroom that smelled like crayons and peanut butter sandwiches. I thought Franny skippity jumped on into the classroom right away, but she hesitated. She chewed on her lip and fluttered her eyelash in such a way that I thought she might be tearful again. But I didn't see sadness when she looked up at me. I saw determination. "I'm tired of first day," she declared. I nodded. "Me too. But people say this town used to be something magical. Maybe it'll be magical for us, too. Mama will like it here, and so will we." Franny's eyes sparkled. "This is home." "Maybe," I said, and I nudged her through the doorway. Franny pranced into the room with her chin high and her ponytail swinging. The words whirling around her head were all spunky words now. Popsicle, paper star, poppy seed muffin. These were good words, bright and tasty, so I didn't feel so bad about leaving her. I walked down the hall, concentrating on my squish-popping shoes. Thousands of words shivered through the hallways of Stoneberry Elementary, so I didn't look up. I didn't have time for word collecting just then because I had to save every last speck of my energy for class. I had been in enough new schools to know what would happen next. A teacher would probably ask me to stand up and say my name and where I'm from, and I would stand up, but instead of saying anything, I would most likely just keep right on standing and staring. My mouth would stay wide open, but the words would never come out. Here's the thing. I see words everywhere, all around me, all the time. I collect them. I think about them. I say them. Fine if I'm talking to Mama or Franny, Joe, or my Aunt Chloe. But words are a mess when I try to say them to more than one person at a time. They melt on my tongue like snowflakes. They disappear right off the edge of my lips, and I end up standing there blinking, open mouthed, like the Queen of Darkville. That's how it had always happened before, at least. But Midnight Gulch used to be a magical place, so maybe this first day would be different. I stared down at my wordy sneakers and practiced. My name is Felicity Juniper Pickle. I'm from here and there and all across the world, because that sounded better than the truth. I'm Felicity Juniper Pickle, and I'm from nowhere in particular, I said. Moving around so much should have made me bold and happy and free, I guess. Strange how I only ever felt lost. I didn't know that the beetle was watching me even then. I would find out soon enough, though. In Midnight Gulch, the beetle was always watching. Okay, so that's the end of chapter 2. Hope you liked the second chapter. Okay, thanks. Bye.